Hello and welcome to my review of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Now this is the third Mad Max movie and I've reviewed the first two, so shameless plug here. If you want to see those reviews of the first two Mad Max movies, you can check them out on my channel. I'll put one up at the end of the video in the little annotation thing, or maybe I'll put both of them up. How about that? Anyway, I have to say a spoiler alert for Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, so consider yourselves warned on all things spoilers. And also, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free and it lets you know every time I put up a new video. With that being said, let's get into it. So Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, it came out in 1985, and it actually had two directors, George Miller, who directed the first two, and Mad Max Fury Road, but it also had another director by the name of George Ogilvy, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Mad Max returning. Also, Tina Turner is in this movie. Yeah, I was like, I've seen her before. And then I looked at the IMDb and I was like, oh, Tina Turner, cool. Also, Bruce Spence. He's a returning character from Mad Max, the Road Warrior, the second one, and he's like an airplane guy. He built an airplane in Road Warrior, and he has like a fully fledged, straight up airplane in this one, and it's pretty cool. First off, is it good? Yes, it's good. In my opinion, it's not as good as Mad Max Road Warrior, the second movie, but it's still really good. Like, to me, Fury Road is the best one. Road Warrior is the second best, and this one is probably the weakest in my opinion. The first Mad Max was really good. It was a great revenge story, and this one is probably the weakest, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad movie by any account. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought that it did a great job of expanding the world that the first two Mad Max movies had built up, and you had a brand new bona fide city in this movie. It was not quite like skyscrapers, houses, city like we know it, but it was like a Mad Max outpost city. If I don't really know how to explain it other than like an outpost. Like we saw an outpost in the Road Warrior, but this one's like bigger. So there's an amazing fight scene in this movie that happens in the Thunderdome, and the Thunderdome is this pretty much just a big bird cage, and it's really cool the way they have this fight scene play out, because they put Max and Blaster, the person he's fighting, and what's really cool is they have these two characters called Master and Blaster, and Master is this little person and he's really smart in ingenuity, and then he has like his muscle pretty much called Blaster, and so Max and Blaster end up in the Thunderdome, fight to the death, and the Thunderdome is this bird cage, but they put you like in bungee cords, or they put Max and Blaster in like bungee cords, and it was really cool because you had them and they would like jump super high using the bungee cords and the elasticity of those, and at the top of the cage that they put them in, at the top of the Thunderdome, you had weapons and you had spikes, so there were plenty of ways to kill your opponent, and that fight scene was just so amazing. I like that Max, he beat Blaster by using a whistle, and Blaster got super disoriented by the whistle, and Max just happened to have a whistle, and so he used the whistle to disorient him, used literally like a Harley Quinn mallet to pretty much beat off the helmet that Blaster was wearing. And then when he found out that it was like a guy who was mentally handicapped, he was like, you know what, I'm not gonna kill this guy. And then the bad guys ended up killing Blaster. But it was just such a cool fight, and it was like an amazing idea to have like them strapped to like those bungee cords that you see outside of your big mall. And the final chase. Yes, it can't be a Mad Max movie without a final chase, either on cars or, in this case there was an airplane involved, and it was really cool. This movie does a really good job of giving us that final chase and making it something new. Whereas, it seems like the Fast and the Furious or other movies that are centered around cars, if there are more than one of, like, if there are sequels and everything, it seems like they just get diminished because it's pretty much going to be the same thing. You're going to have a car chase and they're going to drive crazily and everything, but the Mad Max movies kind of always either amp it up or bring something new to it. And in this one it was really cool because Max and some of the kids from the Oasis that he gets picked up from, they get on like this truck, but it's really cool because the truck is like on rails and it's like a train. The back of the truck looks like a train, but it just looks like they hooked up a truck and hooked it up to a train, like a car of a train. And it was really cool because it was like, okay, now this is cool because the bad guys know exactly where this truck is going. It's not like he can veer off to a side or not. And it was really cool to see something like that, something new brought to the table, as far as the final chase. And it was just a really good final chase. It wasn't my favorite, but I really enjoyed it. It put a great, it was the cherry on top that was the Sunday that is this movie. And I thought it was a great chase scene. I thought it ended very cool with Max staying on the ground, uh, having a car, and then the kids go up with Bruce Spence's character. Yeah, that's right. The one I told you he came back from, Road Warrior. He has like a full-fledged airplane in this one, and then the kids go and fly with him, and they're like super cool. And this movie ends in a pretty different way for me because they find a city. And that's amazing to me because in any other Mad Max movie, we've never seen like skyscrapers and an actual city. Whereas in this one, in the very end of this one, we see an actual city with skyscrapers, buildings, houses. We see like a full-fledged city, and I was like, wow, that was so cool to, just let us know that there are cities, but people aren't living in them anymore. So my verdict on this movie is going to be a Blu-ray. In my opinion, every single one of these Mad Max movies that I've done so far, all the original trilogy, I guess you would call it, of Mad Max movies, are really good. They all build off of the last one. Each one brings something new to the Mad Max, story. Each one brings something new to the car chases, the train chases, the airplane chases. And that's why I'm saying Blu-ray this one, because if you're gonna watch, if you want to like have a marathon of Mad Max movies, or if you just want to watch one here, one there, I feel like Beyond Thunderdome, you're not wasting your money if you go out and buy this. Well, there you go. That's my review of Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. But I want to know what you think about this movie, so I need you to go into the comment section down below and tell me your thoughts on the Mad Max movies, up to this one. I don't know. I'm probably not going to do Fury Road, although I would love it. I probably won't do that. But yeah, tell me your thoughts on the movie or my review of the movie. Anything, to get a discussion going on movies. I would love to discuss this movie with you, so please do that. Also, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this review and want to see more reviews like it in the future. Thank you for watching this review.